It is up to the Fire and Police Commission to hire the next chief of the Milwaukee Police Department.
But others will want a voice in that process, including Common Council President Ashanti Hamilton, who's joining us this morning. Ashanti, what were your thoughts on the process that F&P decided on the choosing of an interim chief?
Well, you know, I really wanted them to open up the process. I think that I really appreciate them taking ownership of this opportunity to be able to kind of broaden the scope. You know, and it's important for us to understand what our roles are as we go through this process, because the statutory responsibility of being able to do this search lies squarely with the Fire and Police Commission. I want the council, community members, the mayor to kind of respect that,
okay.
you know, that responsibility. But what we want to be able to do is to allow the voices of the people that we represent to be able to magnify those voices with the commission so that they would be responsive to the needs and the concerns of people that live in the community.
Sure. Can you describe the type of police chief you want? We had Chief Flynn for 10 years. Are there things within Chief Flynn you said, let's duplicate that and try to find some others?
I want us to recognize what works. Right, okay. And I think there are certain things that many people in the community have recognized that they like about Chief Flynn, right? And I hate to, when we're in a situation like this, you know, there are so many folks that were fans of his and many critics. But one thing is for sure is that if you last in the city for 10 years, you were obviously doing something right.
That's part of your
legacy.
There was
something,
right?
Yeah. And one of those things that I think that should be carried on is the willingness to look at the big picture, to understand the role of law enforcement in being able to create stable communities, and understand that that's operating in conjunction with a lot of other things that's happening, whether it's economics, whether it's how do you build police community relations, what are the type of examples nationally that you're willing to implement in order to build that. And I think that some of the things like the burn grant that we did and building neighborhood capacity grants that the police department was the lead on in bringing those resources in, there are many examples in that on how to do police community relations that I think should be duplicated and carried on. I think the community is looking for someone who embraces that type of effort within communities. So that's a must.
And that can be anyone who is from Milwaukee or outside of Milwaukee. Would you agree? I
would agree that it's capable. I mean, the person that I think helped us to understand how to implement that came from outside.
That's true.
Right?
So one thing that could be added to the equation, what needs to be part of the new chief's job or responsibilities?
Well, one of the things is that there must be a recognition that it's not one person at the head that kind of creates this change with the relationship. It's frontline officers that do that work. And so whatever that philosophy is that's in the police department, there needs to be a way to be able to have that philosophy trickle down throughout the department so that frontline officers also carry that mentality.
And I think that was something that was depicted in the DOJ's draft report, that there was not a sense of community policing definition that from sergeants on down to officers could agree on or knew. It was there, but it just was not there consistently. So I do see your point is that has to come from leadership, but then it also has to trickle down into the rank and file.
Absolutely. It can't just be an initiative in a particular neighborhood. This has to be a way that the department operates. And that's a philosophical position that needs to, it starts at the head, but you have to be able to implement that throughout the department.
We have about 30 seconds left. What do you think the timeline will be here and should be here to get someone permanently in that position?
Well, some of this depends on the need.
Sure.
Right? We may have some very capable folks that are within the department right now that can actually fill the void for some time.
For now.
For some time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you think, okay.
Who could carry?
Who could carry? I mean, there's 2 years left on
and that's going to be a decision that the Fire and Police Commission
And this is a decision that's on the Fire and Police Commission, which is one of the things that I think that they need to take a closer look at. And since they are going to be the ones that will be looking at the backgrounds and the qualifications of the people coming forward, I'm hoping that there would be an analysis done as to what qualifications we have in-house and how long should that person be in order to do a search.
All right.
We're going to have to leave it at that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.